Welcome to Misunderstanding Millennials. I'm Jonathan Mills.
I'm Chance Ramsdell.
And here we are. We're here to help you understand millennial culture a little bit better. Millennials fall between the years of the early 80s to the late 90s. So the next generation's coming of age, and the world's always been changing and always will, whether people like it or not. And we're here to help people understand a little bit better. Chance, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
That's good. That's good.
Doing pretty good.
It's been a long day, but here we are. It's Thursday. It's 7 p.m. and we are coming to you live on YouTube and on WGSR Star News
47.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes. All right. So we've talked about this topic what feels like a million times, and we're finally tackling it on a show. And we're going to be talking about esports. Now, esports. I feel like a lot of people aren't going to know what esports are.
Well,
which is understandable because it's more of a sort of a new age thing.
Yeah.
So, we've been talking about it forever. I think it's finally time for us to take a shot at it. And we're going to be talking about what they are, who's involved, and why they are actually important and why you should care about it. Well, so Chance, I know that we talked about it, I think, before the show a couple days ago, or before Ken's show, E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Huge event. It's a multi-day conference focused on everything new and innovative in the computer and video game industry. And not only is this really exciting for people like us who play a lot of these games and use the technology every single day, but it's huge for shareholders and companies presenting. So, these shareholders, obviously they want to see these companies prosper and do well. So this is a really big deal for a lot of people, not just people who play video games, because I know a lot of people probably think that that's kind of who cares, but a lot of companies are really riding on these conferences. But we could really talk all day about E3. But they host an event, which is what I want to kind of start on when we talk about the world of esports, and it kind of goes along with our discussion today, and we're going to branch into that. And that is the Fortnite Pro-Am Celebrity Tournament that happened at E3. And we've talked about Fortnite a couple times.
We've shown videos of it.
Yeah, and as you can see here, here's a video from ESPN on their YouTube channel of the Fortnite Pro-Am Celebrity Tournament. And, it's the free Battle Royale game that is sweeping the world right now, where 100 players fight to the death, and the last man standing is the winner. Well, the tournament hosted many celebrities teamed up with professional Fortnite players. And they had a $3 million prize pool, all to charity.
That's insane.
$3 million.
That's insane.
And Fortnite, we've talked about how it's growing like a million times, but just to give you an idea, it just recently went live on the what's it called, the iTunes App Store for iOS and iPhones and all that. And within 48 hours, I believe it was the top grossing app on the iTunes Store, meaning that it is, even though it is completely free, it has made the most money out of all apps on the App Store.
And that's because you can have, they're called microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's the in-game currency, which is the currency used to buy cosmetics like skins or something like that you want to use to make your character that you play look cooler, and you feel cooler using it. And people spend real money on the in-game currency, it's like a what's it called, an exchange? Yeah,
it's sort of like an exchange, but the interesting thing about it is it doesn't affect like the gameplay or anything. You're purely doing it just because you want to look cool, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they have made so much money that they hit the top of the App Store in less than 48 hours, became the #1 top selling of these microtransactions in the App Store, and that is insane to think about. That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
And that's not counting everything that they've made on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, now Nintendo Switch, and PC. And the Android version isn't even out yet, so that's not even counting the money on people who have Android phones like me. So you look at this, $3 million prize pool, and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. They're playing video games with celebrities, and they're doing it for charity. That's all nice and dandy. But what you want to focus on, because like I said, it's a celebrity pro-am. The celebrities, somewhat amateur. I know some of them do play. But the professional players, because a lot of people look at somebody and like, you can play video games professionally.
Yeah.
Because I've had that said to me so many times. But esports as a whole aren't really a new concept. It's more that they're gaining popularity rapidly. We've actually got a statistic, a graph here from marketing researcher Newzoo, and they predict that revenues will hit $905 million this year, which will be a 38% increase from 2017. And I just want to give a shout out to Newzoo for this image breaking down all of the statistics for the revenue coming into the esports industry. $905 million.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, and predicted to go up, like even farther up.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually expecting the esports industry to cross the $1 billion threshold in 2019, with revenue projected to hit $1.1 billion for professional video gaming. And that is like, honestly, I could have never imagined something like that happening. As someone who plays a lot of video games, like, you know, because like me and you, we could go home and play Fortnite right now, and you can think about it. There's people out there making thousands to tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars by playing the same thing that we do.
Yeah,
they're just good at it, like really good at it. But they've even looked a little bit further than that, and in 2021. They're saying that it could even be up to $1.65 billion.
That's insane.
That is a lot of money. That is a ton of money.
It's insane. It's pretty insane.
But you know, so again, you might not have heard of esports or might not have seen any of the tournaments or anything, but that's because the majority of it is done online through websites such as YouTube or Twitch.tv is a popular gaming streaming website. And but you know, not only is this viewership really booming online, but esports are starting to gain traction on television as well. ESPN, I'm not sure if you actually knew this because I've watched a couple of these tournaments myself, but ESPN has now hosted quite a few esports tournaments on live television, including both professional and college teams, which is awesome that even colleges are getting involved. That's a whole different story. TBS, the channel TBS, is actually hosted a tournament series called E-League, which has hosted Street Fighter tournaments and Counter-Strike tournaments for professional players. But you know, with broader viewership on channels like ESPN, there's been a little bit of backlash from some of these people that you know, a lot of, because you know, you go to ESPN, you want to see sports, right?
Yeah.
And you know, so you go to ESPN and there's video games on, and so a lot of sports fans have actually you know, they're finding these video game like tournaments and streams on their sports channels, and you know, a lot of them kind of just denounce esports as not a sport like immediately. But as soon as the word video game is like even muttered, it's like, oh no, they have no place in, you know, the world of real sports and ESPN and all that. But is that the case? Is what I'm asking tonight. You know, really, it's
what defines a sport.
Exactly, like what defines a sport. But you know, which, you know, sport, obviously, you know, it's kind of like, you know, these athletes, which another term that you have to define. You know, there's some form of, you know, physical exertion and training that goes into, you know, being an athlete in a sport. So it takes a lot of training, a lot of like willpower. I mean, I feel like the definition is pretty clear, which you can see there. But you know, that's kind of like the definition of a sport. But some interesting information: P1 visas. If you don't know what a P1 visa is, it is the visa for international athletes to travel to the United States for competition. And these are actually available to these esports athletes to come from, like, you know, overseas in Europe and Asia, to come here and actually like participate in these tournaments. So not only is it for, you know, people who are playing sports, but these esports players are actually getting these P1 visas to come here and participate too, which is crazy to think about it, because I mean, that technically is a sign that I guess technically that the government kind of sees these esports players as actual athletes, because I mean, they can come to the P1 visa, which is what athletes use. And you know, if they're recognized enough to be granted these visas, shouldn't it be considered a sport? But the term athlete, however, is not really defined in the immigration regulations, but gamers have been and will be approved for the P1 visa in the past and in the future, allowing them to travel here. So I mean, you know, is that kind of what sets the bar as to saying that it is a sport and that these are actual like athletes?
I don't know. I mean, in
your opinion,
so,
is that the like solidifying fact that they can be?
Well, in my opinion, you're talking about like physical exertion, willpower, and stuff like that. I watch old professional esports players, mainly the game called League of Legends. I watch them stream, and these people are streaming up to 15 hours a day, like crazy amount. So imagine having to sit at a computer playing a single game for your viewer base for 15 hours a day.
Yeah,
is that not willpower?
I would say that is definitely a form of physical exertion, but a lot of things that people don't realize is like, if you're, because a lot of these professionals, they really sort of specialize in one thing. Like you don't see one guy playing on a basketball, football, and a baseball team.
Yeah.
Similar concepts, but with games instead of sports. It's really a lot of like muscle memory and training with a lot of these games. Let's take like Counter-Strike. It's like a shooter, for example. You really have to be precise. Your hearing has to be well. You have to be able to hear footsteps and know when your enemies are approaching you and how to react to it. And that's another thing. Your reactions and instinct are huge. And that's really a make or break in the world of esports. Is you have to be so dedicated to this game that it's like second nature to you, which is a lot of what people who play sports professionally would say. But so a lot of people they'll denounce esports as a sport almost immediately. But interesting fact is a lot of the biggest esports investors are actually owned and operated by sports organizations, former players, etc. A lot of people that are in like the professional sports circle are actually starting to invest in esports. And I got a lot of examples here. These are a lot of teams that are participating this season in the League of Legends tournament in North America. A team called the Golden Guardians, which the name kind of sounds obvious. They're a new League of Legends team operated by the NBA team, the Golden State Warriors. So the Golden State Warriors have branched out into this League of Legends team, which I think is insane. They actually had at one of their games, they actually brought the team out on the court and introduced them at one of the games. And I'm going to be honest, it was kind of uncomfortable to watch because it was really weird. People in the that were watching kind of just looked really confused, and like they didn't know how to react. But it just shows that these NBA teams and organizations are actually starting to branch out. Another one is 100 Thieves. They're an esports organization affiliated with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's another one for you. Another one is Clutch Gaming. They're an esports organization affiliated with the NBA team, the Houston Rockets. So all these different teams are starting to dip their fingers into the world of esports and start to get involved. But one of the big figures that I think has really been sort of helping build the bridge between sports and esports is Rick Fox, former basketball player. He is the owner of Team Echo Fox.
Echo Fox has been around for a while.
Echo Fox has been around a while. They were actually to be honest, I don't remember their previous name, but when they were picked up by Rick Fox, they were rebranded into Echo Fox, which has been around for a while now, at least like 2 or 3 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe more. But Rick Fox is an adamant defender that esports athletes are just as valid as traditional athletes because they spend so much time training and preparing mentally to play this game competitively on a competitive level to win money.
And it gets really, really competitive.
It gets very competitive, and I'm talking like they have like training grounds. They have like It's basically, I mean, it's really like sports. They have like boot camps and training grounds where they basically just like it sounds bad, but they like lock them in a room for like 18 hours a day and they just play, and that's all they do. Especially over in Korea, they are known for their gaming houses, and basically the players, they wake up, they eat, and they go at it, and they stop to eat and sleep pretty much. Yeah. And it's crazy. And some of the Korean teams are actually they're famous. Like they have hordes of fans show up at their doorstep whenever they go out. And it's crazy to think that these people, in a world where you would I believe Rick Fox used the term that esports players are just the jocks of video games these days. So they're they're getting famous. I mean, people recognize them, especially not just in Korea, but here and overseas in Europe and everything.
They're so famous that the website Twitch, which is a streaming a streaming platform where people can set up streams on their computers, and then you can have people subscribe to you and watch you. One player, his name is Tyler One.
Yeah.
He's a League of Legends player. He was banned for a while for being toxic, which means he has bad behavior in the game, and like calling people names, stuff like that. Yeah, he came back. They unbanned him, and it crashed the website.
Yeah, it literally crashed the website.
This website has hundreds of, maybe thousands of streamers at once streaming.
Oh, yeah,
and
easily.
he crashed it.
Yeah, there was
That's
that
how
much of
famous.
an influx of people going to watch these streams. And I mean, I've seen viewership easily in the 100,000s for him in particular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other streamers easily. And of course, when there's like an event of like one of these tournaments going on, the viewership is insane. Like, you are sitting there with like a couple 100,000 other people at your computer or on your TV watching like these people play video games. And like, a lot of people look at that and they're just like, oh, they're just playing video games.
It's like it's almost the
making,
same as like when people watch football games on the
Yeah,
TV.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like that's the sport you're interested in. This is the sport we're interested
Yeah.
in.
So, you know, we're going to be going to a break soon. Our email is on the screen. If you want to go ahead and shoot us an email during this break, go ahead. We'll read it live on the air. So my question to everybody tonight is really just like, what do you think about this concept of esports? Do you think that competitive video games and esports are good, or do you think it's interesting that they're doing this? Do you think that they are actually considered athletes? And you know, just we're going to open up the phone lines. Call in, let us know what you think. If you want to send us an email, we'll go ahead and read it on the air. But we're going to go ahead and take a break. So go ahead and get those questions or thoughts prepared, and we'll see you after these messages.
It's tax time, and it's time to call Nick Bello.
Hi, my name is Nick Bello, the credit master here at Danville.
again, we always talk about this, how we never receive that many emails. And I always, actually, it's because the email's not on the screen. If we could have the email put on that lower third, or we can just do it within the next break.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at my watch right now, and it's not Monday.
Excellent, there we go.
And I don't think it's Monday Night Live. Is this Monday Night Live versus
Oh,
Millennials?
did that say Monday Night Live?
Yeah. It says
Oh,
Monday.
I didn't even realize. Oh, okay, I see it now. Excellent, there we
Okay.
go. Excellent,
Well,
all
we're
good,
back.
no worries.
Welcome back to Misunderstanding Millennials.
You might have seen me on Monday Night Live a couple times, but that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shoot us an email. Let us know what you think. While we're waiting to see if anything comes in, let's talk about this comment that we got on one of our promo posts on Facebook.
Let's go ahead.
Obviously, we never go into names. We'll never name you, whether you email or call in, or if you post anything on our Facebook page. That's totally fine. But it was a promo post for the show tonight, and someone said, "I'd rather watch slapping some sense into millennials."
I kind of like to watch that too.
I like slapping sense in anyone, but anyone.
Yes, if they deserve to get sense slapped into them.
But here's the thing: is like, I feel like I have some sense. I feel like you have some sense.
Not my bank account. But yeah, I have some sense, I guess.
But yeah, like, man, I might be jumping the gun by saying this a little bit. Man, why do the older generation want to beat everything into their kids?
I don't know,
Like
man.
I never was beat as a child.
I was beat as a child.
Were you? Did you get spanked or?
I got spanked.
Oh well.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I can't speak for everyone, but I didn't get spanked. But yeah, so here we have. I know this video was shown earlier, but just to give a little explanation as to what's going on, this is actually a video courtesy of LOL Esports on YouTube, their channel, the official League of Legends esports channel. This is actually a tournament that is titled Worlds, and it's actually teams from every single country or region. Mm-hmm. They all have their own separate sort of tournament series, and then the winners of that series progress on to the world tournament to find out who's the best in the world per yearly season. And as you can see, there's so many people that show up to these events. Like, ticket sales are insane. Like, venues sell out immediately, all to go watch these people play video games live. Like, it's you think about it and you're like, it kind of makes sense to like look at it on a computer screen.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there doing whatever. Because I have two monitors, so I can like do whatever I'm doing on this one, and I have that on the other one. I can just kind of glance over and see what's going on. But these people are literally like in stadiums, watching people play video games like a football game.
Yeah, and these stadiums aren't like just some raggedy setup like we have
here.
No,
a lot of times they'll use like sports stadiums and stuff like that.
And the production value for these things are insane.
Oh yeah, it's out of this world. It's insane.
Like, it's actually like hundreds of thousands of people sitting there watching these big monitors of people playing games with the players right there.
Yeah.
It's insane.
We have a call we can go ahead and take if you want to take that.
I call you on there.
Well, good evening, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Charles of Danville calling.
All right.
Most likely, the games I've talked about the games I play, like NASCAR.
Yeah.
And sometimes Mercenary 2 and all that, But I normally don't go online, and, the online games, I don't do them. Mm-hmm. Because, you got to hook that up to a telephone cord, right, to your system.
You got to hook it up to either an Ethernet cord or a Wi-Fi signal. Any
connection to the internet, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I recently went out and bought the Xbox One.
Okay.
And I ain't hooked it up and played it yet because I got the new Battlefront.
Okay, yeah, the Star Wars game, yeah.
Yeah, and Titanfall.
Okay.
So I got both of them. I haven't played them yet, but somebody says they're real good games. The skill levels are good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll enjoy Titanfall.
Those are definitely two very good choices.
Yeah.
I tried the Star Wars Battlefront. It's pretty good. You get a choice of, any weapons, ships, and stuff like that on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fun. I actually have it too on my PS4.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah, they said the graphics are terrific.
Yeah, it is.
The graphics. It's a good-looking game.
Yeah, it's one of the best-looking games that I've seen in a while.
A Star Wars game, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It had some issues with microtransactions wise, but But
now
other
it's
than that,
it's a very solid, very fun game. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I played the demo now at a local store. You know, they let they had it where you can try it out, and stuff. But I thought it was pretty good. That's why I went ahead and bought the system and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to me, games are just something to kill time. Something when you're not really doing nothing.
Well, yeah, I can see that. I understand, but it's just the way that the games are evolving nowadays. It's becoming something more than killing time. It's becoming a career. It's becoming a profession. There are colleges that are offering scholarships for video games.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's insane how I remember when I was a kid playing the SpongeBob game on my PS2. I wasn't thinking, man, I could make money playing this game, but now people are actually making money playing video games.
Yeah, and I've always hated to refer to it in the past because it's kind of been it's almost like an underground thing, but it's almost like a lifestyle now.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, some countries, it's video games, like in Japan, maybe it's very popular in their country.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I guess I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so you said, you think that it's good for people, who just want to blow off steam and kill time. How do you feel about these people who dedicate their lives to these games and get really good? Do you think they should be rewarded as highly as, as we're showing in some of these videos at these huge tournaments with tons of prize money and stuff?
Well, hey, if they can do it, I say do it. But if you gotta, to me, it looks like you gotta have the patience and time to do it.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say that's definitely not something that occurs overnight to be that good.
Oh, it is. I've been playing League of Legends that's the game that's being shown right now. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's
Fortnite.
We're
on the Fortnite video.
Okay,
right now,
well earlier the League of Legends, the Worlds video. I've been playing that game for about 2 years now, and I am still garbage. So.
Well, I heard they were going to put out a game, but the game was canceled because they weren't going to put it out, and I'm glad they did.
Are you talking about the shooting simulator game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the school shooting thing, I'm glad it was canceled and did not go no further.
Yeah, I definitely think that that games like that have no place. The company Valve that owns Steam, which is the distribution of those kind of games, they actually spoke up and said that they were. It's funny because they said that they're going to start allowing anything on their platform, but people who make games like that just to sort of attack people and offend people and sort of upset people like that they will be taking some sort of measure to stop that, which is good.
That's what they did.
To me, that's good because you got to be very careful today because today's society is a little touchy sometimes, and plus we got people out there with problems and stuff and who don't want to seek help. But if you got a problem, go get help. It ain't gonna hurt you.
Oh yeah, of course. But I definitely think that in a world where we can kind of we want freedom of speech and all that. I definitely don't think there's a place for a school shooting simulator game.
Yeah, that's not.
There's definitely not a place.
Nothing like that, because video games have come a long way from Space Invaders, Asteroids, Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely a totally different world now.
We're seeing these games come out at E3 that are God, it looks like you're watching movies when you play it.
They have like hundreds of $1 million budget and stuff like that. It's like a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, the thing is, you've got to remember, the game is just fantasy. You can restart it at any time. Your lives are start off with 3 lives. But remember, people, they're just fantasy. It's just something to do. There's no such thing of going out here and trying to be one of these video game heroes.
I totally agree.
I agree.
Totally agree with you.
But most likely, that's what I wanted to call and say tonight, guys. And most likely, we're looking forward to probably doing some interviews in the street on stuff.
We plan on doing that sometime soon, maybe during the next car show.
Yeah, unfortunately, this month's cruise-in came a little too quick for us to prepare stuff like that. But next month, we are definitely looking into getting that done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're hoping to see you around the area, like Martinsville, Danville, probably, the Commonwealth area, on the community, what can be done and, what can be approved and, about our leaders and stuff, maybe.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I definitely think that
what
it's going to
could
be
bring a younger generation back
Definitely.
to these smaller towns.
definitely.
Well, to me, I think the younger generation ought to get more involved with, not jump into it, but, slowly get into politics, look how their governments are run, and
Yeah.
hopefully they can not change it too much, but try to where they can improve it to bring a better economy to the state and probably bring more jobs to the Commonwealth area.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, maybe now it's all, like you said, sort of slowly bring them into it. But right now, a lot of the younger generation are jumping into politics, which I would say, even if they're jumping in like head first, is better than not jumping in at all. So
Yeah.
Right, and stuff like that. But like those students who are making a push, because of gun laws. But, I don't think they should take guns away from people. I think what they need to do is tighten the the background checks, instead of getting it in a couple of days, probably do it for about 4 to 6 weeks. Come on, 4 to 6 weeks ain't a long time.
yeah,
And like what we said during one of our first shows about gun control, what we were saying was we aren't planning on taking guns away from people. We're planning on limiting. We're planning to stop people who are mentally unstable and do not have the mental capacity to own a gun from getting a
lot
gun.
of people don't like the word control, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Well, I know most of our older generation knows a little bit better about guns because they've been around them longer. They've probably been in the military. They know how a weapon works. They also probably know how to break it down, put it back together blindfolded.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But, guys, we'll see y'all next Thursday, and great show so far. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Yeah,
All
school shooting simulator, no place in the video game world. But
Not a good move.
We're definitely, we can talk about this some more. If you want to shoot us an email during the break, go ahead and do that. But we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
Dana Weston, and I am the president of UNC Rock.
back to Misunderstanding Millennials, we had a little bit of development in our Facebook promo comment that we want to go into a little bit. Chance is going to read it.
All right. So, this person said the greatest generation lied on paperwork in order to get accepted into the armed forces to defend this country. Some as young as 15. Millennials and snowflakes would leave in droves if there ever was another draft. So you're saying we would dodge the draft, like Donald Trump. Okay. They wait at airports to call people baby killers and protest the people that protect that freedom.
Can we pause right here real quick? Because, like...
Rewind.
I'm curious what this has to do with. Like, I really, honestly, genuinely don't know what's going on here.
Okay, so you're saying that we are against abortion. We call people baby killers.
Like, we wait at airports to call people baby killers. Oh, I think I know where he's getting with it. Because, talking about, I feel like he's talking about the military. Waiting at airports.
Oh, you're talking about like during the
when they come back, we say, oh, you went over there and killed children.
Okay.
I guess that's what he's getting at. It's a little vague.
Well, I mean, if you kill children, you kill children. It doesn't matter if you're in the military or not.
Killing children is probably not good.
Yeah, it's probably not. All they live for is YouTube, video games, and intoxication.
That's a bold statement. So that's literally all that an entire generation of people from 20 to like 35 live for.
I guess.
But okay.
A minute? Is that how you spell that?
What?
Okay.
Is that a typo?
A minute amount have the moral fiber to stand for what is good and just.
I mean, what's good and just is very subjective, I would say.
It is. No, they want freebies and... Can I say that?
I don't know if you can say that. I would just not.
I'm just not going to say it, but we don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what it means.
It's something you would Google in incognito mode.
Yeah. They have no problem destroying what they didn't work for. Okay. Like how you guys destroyed the environment. But they have that handout for free college in a degree that no one wants or needs. I'm struggling to pay for community college, and I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Yeah, dude, I wish that my college was free. Trust me, I wish that it was free.
Dude, they cover themselves with tattoos, piercings, and grow ridiculous facial hair like they are an 18th century mountain man, then get upset when no one wants to hire their slideshow carny-looking mess. I'm working here, and I've worked at multiple places before this, and I do have a tattoo, but it's for my grandmother. So, I mean, if you want to hate on that, that's okay. I personally like his 6.5-inch beard. So, he measured it the other day for a girl he met.
Measure it, yeah.
Priorities. Get them right and prosper. Get them wrong and live in your parents' basement and collect whatever the government, family, and friends are willing to part with.
Give me everything.
I feel like the government has taken a lot of my check. Like, I don't feel like the government gives me anything.
I'm still hurt about the wanting free college thing, because boy, my tuition was not free. I can tell you that. Whew, that was a lot.
And blame everyone else for what is wrong in their life. BTW, looking for a good career, sweat is involved.
No, I mean...
Not really. I mean...
I get a little sweaty up here sometimes.
But this dude does some sweating. Try HACV, plumbing, welding / fabrication. Chill out. It's hard to read. And electrical. I'm going to college for electrical engineering, but I guess. Hint: illegals can't get certified in these trades. Wow.
Thank you for the comment. We really appreciate it.
We do appreciate that.
We love comments, whether they're constructive criticism or just pure hate.
Ridiculousness.
But, you want to take the call? I think that's more important.
Yeah, we're going to take the call. Hi, caller, you're on there.
Hello, this is Charles. How y'all doing?
Hey, Charles, what's up?
Hey, I've given y'all a few weeks to get adjusted and so forth, but I thought I'd weigh in because I had to admit, millennials do kind of get on my last nerve. I'm a Generation X.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
I just miss being a baby boomer.
Okay.
And one of the things that I'm very proud of is the Generation X folks are usually considered the hardest workers. Did y'all know that?
I did not know that. I mean...
I didn't know. Where are you getting this statistic from?
Basically, you just look it up. You Generation X, you can look at statistics that for each generation. and Generation X is known as the hardest working of all the generations.
I'll
Okay.
take your word for it. That's
Yeah.
totally fine with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But let me tell you one of the things that just kind of blows my mind when it comes to millennials. Y'all are least likely to go out and vote.
You know, that really blows my mind. You know, I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day. What was the statistic in over up in Martinsville, I believe? What was it that younger people, just like voting in general, like 80-something% of people didn't come vote that day?
So,
Yeah, it was for the primary. We had 95% that didn't come vote.
Good Lord.
That's what happens when no one's running that agrees with your ideals.
Well, I mean, that's fair, but, you know, I feel like millennials.
No. See, you have to at least go choose what you got. In other words, I mean, not even going. First of all, you got to see what's bad about that.
Well, that's like picking the better of two evils.
Which,
What's that going to lead to?
yeah, that's fair, but
First of all, it's involvement. And you know, millennials just don't seem to give a rat's ass.
you know, I mean, I feel like a lot of millennials are starting to sort of jump on board with politics now, especially more than ever, because it seems like the millennial voice can be heard more. But I kind of have to agree with Chance, you know, a lot, especially on like the local level. You know, you look at like all the candidates and it does feel like you're trying to pick like, all right, who's like the least worst person that I could pick for this situation?
I feel like millennials
Or
need to get
you can
more
step up
into...
to the plate and run yourself.
I wish that would
That's
be
what I'm
that would be
saying.
nice, but you
Well,
know,
I don't have the money for that.
A lot of these people who have already been in like held office for like years, and they just like, you know, they want, you know, everybody knows who they are. I feel like that's another misconception about millennials is people look at millennials and think, oh, they're young and stupid. So, you know, you look at somebody who's older, they're clearly going to be wiser than some kid.
Yeah.
But
So
I mean, sometimes folks have proven that wrong, and young people do get into these offices and so forth, but doing nothing and sitting back. See, that's what's so aggravating for us Generation Xers is that you guys just like, woo, it doesn't seem to really matter, and it's affecting a lot of things that you do in your life, and it's keeping you from doing some things.
oh yeah, I totally agree.
Like sitting back and doing nothing is just really not good.
Okay, well, I have a counterpoint to that. How do you feel about the students that were, I believe the high school was in Florida where they had the school shooting? You know, they're starting to step up and have their movement, you know, towards their ideals based on, you know, guns and gun control and everything. But so many people are just shutting them down immediately, even just because they're young.
No, I don't think they're getting shut down. I think they're getting a lot of attention. They were on the Tony Awards.
Oh, I mean,
They're getting more attention than any students before, so I don't buy your argument.
they're getting attention, but what's happening because of
I
it?
think they're busting through the mustard.
they're getting attention, but, you know, not all of it is
You
positive
got to look
attention.
forward up, like you got to look into like
One of the
5
guys
years
looks like
from
a real
now.
smart ass. He looks millennial.
What was that, Charles?
One of the students is you know, putting out profanity and all these other things, and that's not making the movement look so good. But
Well,
you know, in other words, you got one of the group that's not being real nice sometimes. That gets attention.
Well,
The way the world works, dude.
that's fair, and it's sad that that's how the way the world works. That, you know, one bad
One of
apple
the
can
things,
spoil
man,
the bunch.
I mean, y'all get me riled up. From the standpoint, I mean, it's just like y'all sit there and go, and don't do anything.
Are you talking about us in particular, or millennials in general?
You know, sometimes, I mean, y'all have pretty smiles on and everything, but sometimes you don't lift your finger.
okay. Well, all right. Well, you have your opinions, but I personally do not agree with them. I don't really have anything to say.
I mean, especially when it comes to like the I feel like we're talking about David Hogg. Is that who we're talking about? The
And then
guy.
what have you done in Rockingham County?
I don't live in Rockingham
What
County.
have I done in Rockingham County?
Yeah, as far as getting people to vote and getting the right people on the ballot.
Well, I voted for one thing. I mean, I have voted. You know, I've you know, especially
Okay, but
being
you
up
didn't
here.
like the choices, right?
What's that?
You said you didn't like the choices.
I did. I mean, I voted even though some of the choices I didn't agree with, and you know, the thing is like I do agree with you that we should vote in general, and not just like, you know, let it, you know, have its own way when we don't agree. But I will say, and I'm saying this as somebody that has done one of my scholarships that I worked with for school actually was talking a lot about involvement in rural counties in North Carolina, and I did that for 4 years. And it's the stuff that they teach us, the things to do in your county. It's like, it doesn't work here, in my opinion. Like, it just, like, the things that I've seen. And
have you tried?
I have tried. Like, a lot of people, just like, I feel like a lot of people here are very stuck in their mindset and in their ways, and just because you're different, they won't listen to you.
I don't go along with that at all. You're on a TV show right now, making a difference right now. You could be making a difference right now, and by doing something. I mean, because one of the things in Rockham County I've just discovered that a lot of the voting goes on in churches.
Yeah, I agree.
And that might not always be positive to separation of church and state.
Oh, of course not. But what are you going to do? Go against the churches? Then go against the churches, and you're a heretic, Charles.
A lot of folks are going into churches and voting, and it's kind of shocking the amount of numbers. Now, most people might think that's a bad thing, but first of all, I think it gives religion a little bit too much of an advantage to influence people on a vote. So it doesn't seem fair to me. And also, we're supposed to be a country separation of church and state. So that would be one of the first things that you could get on to maybe get more get more fair results.
Well, the world doesn't work like that, I guess.
That's fair. So Charles, you think we should?
It doesn't work like that.
Just don't listen to Chance. Don't listen to Chance. But so Charles, you think we should start tackling some more local stuff on our program?
I think you need to do something. You need to be effective.
Okay, I agree with that. And going back to your point about churches and everything, and talking about politics and churches, I 100% agree with you. But it's like I said, if you go against the church, everybody's going to point finger at you and be like, hey, this guy, he disagrees.
You got to be able to handle it. You got to be able to handle it.
Oh, and the thing,
pointing fingers at you. What's wrong with that?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, trust me, I'm definitely one of the people who doesn't care to have fingers pointed at me and things said about me. But it's just like,
who's going to listen to you if the church points their finger?
But one of the things you're doing off the bat, you're sounding like a failure. We can't get anything done. We can't do anything. We're not having any effect. Because I don't think you really try that hard.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Did I affect y'all? Am I making sense or not?
No, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying, but it's.
Because the problem is your generation sometimes does not get off the chair. Okay?
Yeah.
And you really can't go affect things if you don't go talk to people and move around a little bit.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you there, but I'm like, the issue that I've seen working with the programs that I've worked with in rural counties and everything is the reason that so many young people are leaving these rural counties and moving to places like Greensboro, Charlotte, and Raleigh is because nobody will listen to them here. And after a certain amount of time of not being listened to,
bull.
Okay, what is there to do here for our age group? What attracts us to Reedsville?
Let Charles explain.
Okay.
Let me tell you what should attract you to Reedsville. The fact that you can make a difference. In a town like Reedsville, you can speak out, just like you're doing right now. You're making a difference right now as you talk on local TV. And you're affecting folks. And you guys are saying sometimes young people don't feel comfortable in a little town like Reedsville, and you ought to start addressing it and saying what kind of things you might want to do to make it more comfortable. Because there are a lot of great things about Reedsville. I'm going to tell you 5 great things about Reedsville. One of them is it's so close to a great metropolitan area, Greensboro, and you're only like an hour and a half away from Charlotte. But there's no congestion. You can go down the road and use the get where you want to go, and it's beautiful. Not a lot of stopping. You're there in no time. People know each other in a small community, and you can network, and you can have an effect. You can get involved in the local politics without spending a lot of money. You can do a lot of things in the local community, but you can't sit there and whine and when things don't happen, you can't complain really. You shouldn't. It just looks like whining. Sometimes I see y'all up here whining, and it's like, go do something, man. Make a little effect. You got an election coming up right now. I haven't heard y'all even talk about issues that might affect millennials on your show for the upcoming election. Because one of the things that's going to be coming on our station real soon, and y'all know it, is making a marijuana, where it's not a criminal offense.
Legalization.
That's something that affects millennials. I know it, right?
Yeah, and we actually have talked about doing that for a show, but we wanted to get all of our information straight and everything. Like, we just haven't prepared it all fully yet.
Are y'all going to wait till the election comes?
Yeah, we totally can do it.
I mean, we can do it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
we
a
can
problem
get
with
Chase up here, too.
Yeah, we can get Chase
I mean,
on here.
next week, y'all show ought to have some kind of a drive to it to show millennials can make a difference.
Okay, yeah. We can talk about it next week. That's totally
I mean,
fine.
just don't sit there and say you can't. Y'all can affect things right now with that TV show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? And y'all
Nobody's denying that, yeah.
We're trying to get a viewer base right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Charles, one of the things that has surprised me the most about being up here is the only people that will respond to us are the people that agree with us, which isn't bad. But like we said before, we're not here to sit up here and stroke our egos. We're here to talk to people who don't agree with us and see why.
I don't agree with y'all.
Well, you might be one of the first people who's called in maybe about a month who doesn't agree with us.
I mean, I like you. I really like y'all a lot. Y'all have been very helpful to me. But some of the stuff that comes out of y'all's mouths, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like what?
The laziness. I mean, you sit up there, you say you can't have an effect on something. You're having an effect more than most millennials in Rockingham County right now on this TV show, and you can't even see it.
But what we're saying is you're calling millennials, you're saying millennials are lazy, right? That's what you're saying.
Most of them are.
Most of them are. So,
Most of them are, and most of them are not involved in the political process, and most of them just whine.
Why do you think they're not part of the political
I'm
process?
proud of it because we are the most active. We work the hardest, and we look at you guys, and it's like, come on, how are you guys going to survive?
Okay, well, we have to go set up for Church of Christ. We enjoyed talking to you, Charles.
All right.
Make sure to call us up next week.
Charles, if you want to call us and talk about it anytime, just call us. You have our number.
Yeah, you do. All right.
All right. Well, that was an interesting end.
That was an interesting end. Well, this was our show for this week.
Yep. Thank you for watching Misunderstanding Millennials. I'm Jonathan. This is Chance. Be sure to check us out on YouTube at Misunderstanding Millennials, Facebook Misunderstanding Millennials. We'll be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. So thank you for watching.
See ya.